This is Attorney Drew Page coming to you live from a parking garage, and we are going to look at Season 2, Episode 6 of Undercover Billionaire featuring Monique Idlett. Let's go.
They're going undercover in cities they've never been to with only $100, a cell phone with no contacts, and an old truck. All they'll have are the business principles they use to become successful. At the end of 90 days, all 3 businesses will be independently evaluated.
If it's a penny short of $1 million, I'll put in $1 million.
You know the drill. Each of these financiers have 90 days to turn $100 into $1 million business with nothing but a contactless cell phone and a pickup truck. If you haven't gotten caught up on all of my Undercover Billionaire analysis, commentary, criticism, and education, you can get that information by clicking on the Undercover Billionaire playlist in the description below. While you're down there, please subscribe to my channel and like this video to help with the algorithm. And if you really want to help me out, you can get a copy of my book, The Right Defense for a Traffic Offense in Virginia, by clicking on the Amazon link below. When we last looked at Monique Idlett, she was getting investors from her in-person meeting where she was able to get rooted some new angel investors that were signed up. So now she's got some momentum and some movement in actually growing the business. So in this episode, we will see how she's going to take that and expand it even further so that she can help grow Rooted, which will help us learn how we can expand and grow our businesses. Let's see what Monique has up her sleeve in this episode.
Pastor Christopher reached out to me about a possible job opportunity. It allows me to earn some extra money, get my own place, while at the same time continuing to build Rooted.
Okay, so she's given us her goals for the week, which are that she has this new job opportunity that she's going to look into with Pastor Chris so that she can get her own place to live and move out of Tawana's place, and also so that she can keep focusing on growing the Rooted business. So one of the things we can see out of this is that even when you are an entrepreneur and you are trying to start your own business, it doesn't necessarily mean that you get to quit working and making money in other things. When you start as an entrepreneur, often it's best to let the entrepreneur job, the new job and company that you're growing, be more of your side business while you are continuing to work to grow income to live on, to have shelter, to have food, and all of those other things. So that way you can grow your business in a sustainable way, but making sure all your necessities are met. So she's trying to see if she can get a better paying job so that she can get her own shelter while she's growing and developing Rooted.
Pastor Christopher said, I'm part of a ministry alliance and we need some marketing help. The ministry alliance bought a retail store and they really need to sell this inventory.
So the job that she is going to be doing for Pastor Chris is marketing. And this is something that she already has skills for. She obviously has grown into the successful businesswoman that she is based on her marketing skills and producing skills and things of that nature. Sorry about the camera jumping up and down, but when cars are driving by in the parking lot, I don't have a steady stand. If y'all have any recommendations for some good steady stands that I can use in the car, please put them in the comments, because I definitely would like to improve in that area. But at any rate, she is using skills she already has to try to expand her business and expand money so that she can take care of herself. And obviously she's got to market Rooted. So this is something that she has skill for. And so when we are looking for jobs to help us, look for jobs that you already have in your wheelhouse. Look for ways to expand off of what you're already doing and to be able to grow another stream of income, or what Elaine Kaladi calls a tranche. Find an individual tranche, another stream of income using what you already are doing, just in a different area or a different level. And that's what Monique's doing. It's a smart play. So let's see what this business is really needing help with.
And the COVID-19 has really put us in a bad spot, just like any other small business. We're struggling to stay open.
Clearly, that's been a theme for all of the investors In Grant Cardone's episode, he was dealing with COVID issues. The Shepherd's Inn with Elaine Colati was struggling because of COVID issues. And now Pastor Chris says that his business was struggling to stay open because of the COVID shutdown. As we look to the future, this is something that the government needs to go ahead and start thinking about. If this ever happens again, what are we going to do to protect small businesses? Well, if you've ever seen the movie The Big Short, there's a scene in there where Brad Pitt tells the two young investors that every time unemployment falls down a percentage, a certain number of people die. Poverty has real life effects on people. So we can't just say, oh, we got to shut down businesses to save lives. In some circumstances, shutting down businesses may cost lives. So again, I'm not saying that everything is done wrong. I'm not saying everything is done right. I'm saying these are discussions that need to be had going forward.
And so we need to broaden our clientele.
As you can see, the neighborhood changing, okay?
Yeah.
To survive, the base gonna have to change.
Mr. Mac's base has always been that person in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and older. You know, it never catered to youth or young people clothing.
Right. Actually, in the business that my ex-husband and I, that's actually what we did. Pivoting and evolving to whatever the market is calling for.
Pastor Chris is trying to pivot from the 40s age demographic to a younger demographic. And so that is what he's looking for Monique to do to help transform the business. And Monique indicates that she and her ex-husband have done exactly that. I don't know whether she's showing her cards as what her actual business is and what her actual name is. I don't know whether someone could take that information and look that up. I mean, honestly, I didn't know who she was before the show started. I knew who her ex-husband was, but I didn't know who she was. So I don't know whether anybody's looking up that information based on what she's saying. But at any rate, she does have that skill set to be able to help pivot based on her past experiences, and that's what she's offering to Pastor Chris. So we'll see how that develops throughout the episode.
You know, stuff like this can cost anywhere from like $10,000 to $25,000 to $30,000.
Right, easy.
Wow.
Oh,
easy.
that's easy.
That's easy.
But if you give me a budget, I can make that work.
I'm thinking about somewhere around $8,000 to $10,000. So how long will it take you to do that and then come back
Tomorrow.
with okay. All right, sounds good.
Tonight, I'm gonna put together a budget and see what type of strategy plan I can do with $8,000 to $10,000. I'll also need to figure out how much I could pay myself and if this will be enough to cover my living expenses for the remainder of my time in Tacoma.
Pastor Chris wants Monique to work a miracle, basically. Just like every customer and client wants, right? They want $30,000 worth of work for $8,000 to $10,000. I don't know any customers who don't want that. So Monique's going to take some time to brainstorm and evaluate some ways that she can help build a marketing platform for them with a range of budget between $8,000 and $10,000, but also make sure that it is something that she can use to keep up with her living expenses throughout the remainder of her 90-day challenge. It takes planning, it takes time, it takes crunching numbers, it takes research. So make sure that if you are in a situation like this, you are willing to put in the time to make sure that you find the best results for your client. Because if you make an agreement to take care of someone and offer $30,000 worth of services for $8,000 to $10,000, you better be able to back it up. And you better be able to make sure that it will provide for your needs. Otherwise, neither you nor your customer will be happy.
Gone are the days that apartments are actually available.
Now that's interesting because that validates what Grant Cardone has always said, that even when there's a pandemic, even when there's tough times, even when things are falling apart, apartment buildings will always be needed. People will always need a place to live. And Monique is showing that Grant Cardone is actually right about his analysis regarding multifamily homes and apartments, that it is difficult for her to find a place to rent. She's been to 3 or 4 different places. I'm not going to show all that clip. You can watch the full episode on Discovery Plus. But she is trying to find an apartment, and she just cannot find anything because they're all booked up, even studio apartments. So when it comes to the thought process of Grant Cardone, when you're looking for something to invest in, apartment buildings, duplexes, multifamily homes are key pieces of any investment portfolio. So make sure that you are listening and keeping in touch with what Grant Cardone is saying.
The problem with rental properties here is that they're at capacity. And now you have all the people who came here from Seattle. They're building, but they're all super overpriced. It seems like a money thing. Buy up as much real estate that you can, create it for a certain type of market, and be very limited with the more affordable housing.
Yeah, it is a money thing. That is the purpose of building apartments and renting them out, is to make money. I don't see why that's a problem or how that's a problem. That's the point of being a real estate investor.
From start to finish, it has to be an experience, or there's no reason to go into brick and mortars anymore. I think it's important to keep the historical aspect of Mr. Max, but also welcome a new type of consumer for a new type of experience. And it's just about showcasing the inventory in a different perspective.
Monique is pitching to them that when you have a business where people are not coming, you have to give them a reason to come in. You have to give them a experience. I mean, think about all of the online businesses that are just killing it right now. What is the reason why anybody would have to go into a brick and mortar store these days? There are 2 reasons. The first reason is convenience. There may be some folks who either don't know how the internet works yet for whatever reason, or there's a store just right down the road. It just makes things convenient to just right over there. You don't have to wait for shipping or anything like that. So convenience is one reason. The second reason is an experience, because you get to enjoy something. There's an atmosphere. There's something that the store brings that the online experience can't give. And that is what Monique is trying to tap into with Mr. Mac, is she wants them to open up their store in a way that is inviting, that has an atmosphere, that showcases things in a way that brings an experience when people come in. So for those of us who own businesses where we want foot traffic inside the door, we need to take heed to the instruction that Monique is offering in her pitch, that we offer an experience. As a law firm, you know, people could hire any lawyer. Any competent lawyer that's passed the bar is good enough to go into a courtroom and make a case. But the question is why should a client pick my law firm over someone else's? Well, there's several reasons. There's my experience. There's my trial record in trying cases and not just settling cases all the time. There's the fact that my law firm calls people back, that we're aggressive about communication and making sure our clients are updated on things as they happen. So it's the experience that they have with my law firm that I hope separates my firm from other law firms. And so that's the kind of experience and detail and atmosphere that Monique is trying to bring to Mr. Mac. So if you have a business where you're trying to grow and get foot traffic, keep that atmosphere and experience in mind. It's very important today.
My personal and professional advice would be to have an outdoor fashion show where people will see something visually that they didn't even know they could put together. Really merchandising it to create a sales flow and get the people in the store. What I see is a tailor here on site that day for customers.
Yep.
Size them, let them purchase a product so that they do have that experience that we're talking about.
Monique's plan for increasing the foot traffic is to have a fashion show and a tailor. People will go from the fashion show into the store. They'll have a tailor there who can size them up with the merchandise. So there's a visual experience. There's a kinesthetic experience. There are all these experiences that she's trying to bring so that foot traffic will come into the store, which will lead to sales. Fashion show is a pretty outside the box way of thinking about it, but it's kind of like Grant Cardone says, go big or go bigger. And so if she's going to try to get foot traffic there, why not have a cool fashion show with music? So you have the auditory experience as well, on top of the models and the tailor. So it touches every aspect of the senses. So I think it's a great idea and a great plan, and we'll see how it comes to fruition. Now Monique's going to talk about money, and money is obviously an important aspect to this. So let's see how she does it.
So let's talk about the budget.
So we have 8,000.
Okay.
And that means about half of that, I think, today.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thank you. I'm definitely going to find a way to blow them away with $5,000 and keep a fee of $3,000 for my services. Thank you.
Okay, so Monique gets the check, $8,000, $4,000 down. She's going to use $3,000 of it as a fee for her services and $5,000 for the actual event, which is pretty incredible that she is going to try to put on a fashion show, have a tailor, and do all these things for only $5,000. My guess is she is going to have to pull some resources on a volunteer basis to assist her, or she's going to have to pay very minimal amounts for the people that are going to be working for her during this event. But if she's able to pull it off, man, what a great lesson for us to be able to use the bare minimum to get maximum ability out of the few dollars that we have. And she's able to keep on living and eating and having a place to stay with the $3,000 fee she has for this one event. That's a lesson for us right there.
All right.
Know your worth and own it. It's so important to help out your friends, help out your family, but to realize how much your time is worth. You've got to find that number that balances the value of your work and your love for the client, and do not take anything less.
Know your worth and own it. So Monique gives us that principle, the official principle for this episode for her business in Tacoma. And it is absolutely true. If you only knew how many times I have people come to me as an attorney and they say, "Hey, Drew, can I ask you a question? I just need to ask you a quick question." I'm like, that's what I get paid to do. It's my job to answer those kinds of questions. Are you going to hire me? Are you going to pay a consult fee? You know, and they're like, "Well, hey, we're friends. We go to church together. We do this, we do that." I'm like, "Well, do I get to go in your business and say, 'Hey, I know that you're in the restaurant business, so since we're friends, why don't you hook me up with some free food?'" I mean, it's no different. You have to know what you're worth and require people to pay you for the value that you provide. Now, I'm not saying you should never do anything for free. You should never help people out. That's not the issue. The issue is when people try to take advantage of relationships, take advantage of friendships, and try to use that to, essentially guilt you out of doing it. If I want to do something for free, that's my call. Don't ask me to do it for free. I'll do it if I want to do it for free. If you want me to do something, you need to be willing to pay for it. And then it's up to me whether I want to do it for free, which I've done on several occasions. But, that's one of the things that irks me is when friends or family, hey, I need this, but I don't have any money. Well, okay, well, that's not helping me any. Do I get to go to your business and say, "Hey, I don't have any money. Why don't you give me something from your business?" So, if you're going to be that way, then make sure that you can back it up with your business. Give the friends and family discount on your business. Don't just ask people, "Well, it's just a quick question." Well, again, that's what you go to law school and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to do, is to answer questions. And so you've got to get paid for giving that legal advice. And by the way, if the advice turns out negatively for you and you end up getting angry, you could sue the lawyer who gives you that free advice, and that lawyer got nothing out of the deal. So, I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. And it's the same with other businesses and areas of work, where if you provide something for free and something doesn't turn out right, those are the people who are the first to complain about things. So just keep that in mind. I think this is a strong principle here by Monique.
A month ago, I spent most of the time being overwhelmed, but I'm so grateful that I secured a place to live during a housing shortage, made high-level political and business connections, and I raised $7,500 from investors who believe I can bring wellness to all. But I also know I have to invest in my business model, and that is the priority right now.
Here, Monique gives a good summary of her progress that she's made. She just secured a house, a place where she can stay for 2 months at $1,050 per month, when the owner was originally asking for $1,200 a month. Monique countered with $1,000, and the owner countered back with $1,050. So $2,100 for 2 months for a full, single family home that she gets to have. She says she's a little overwhelmed about staying by herself because she had not been by herself for quite some time, but I think she's going to tough it out just fine. And now she can focus on her business. Now that she's got her living situation squared away, she can move out of Tawana's house so that they can have more of a business relationship, more than a personal relationship that they would have since they were roommates, essentially. So I think this will get Monique in the right direction and where she wants to go. Well, that's it for this episode. Again, I'm Drew Page. You can reach me at my Suffolk, Virginia office at 757-935-9065. You can visit my website at www.randallpagelaw.com. And you can email me, drewpage@randallpagelaw.com. If you haven't gotten caught up with all of my analysis of the show, you can click on the Undercover Billionaire playlist in the description below. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and subscribe to my channel and like this video to help with the algorithm. And if you really want to help me out, you can get a copy of my book, The Right Defense for a Traffic Offense in Virginia. So until the next episode, stay tuned.